Buddy All here, your talk show host, Talkin Funny Cars. We're live, first live Talkin Funny Cars right here at PRI 2024. We're in the Racing Junk booth with my good friend Chris King. Chris, welcome to the show.
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Oh, man, pretty good. I feel like, are your feet, well, let's back up. Are your feet sore yet?
I've been putting some miles on.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, for sure. I think 6 miles yesterday, if I looked at it right.
Yeah, you know, I was talking to some guys this morning, and if you've never been to PRI, you need to come, first of all. It's the coolest drag racing expo in the entire country. But, you know, I described the PRI this morning as it's kind of like prom with race car parts and race car stuff. You get to see all your friends. Everybody's got their best clothes on. It's a great time. So if you've never been to PRI, make sure you get out here. But, Chris, 2024, you made some big changes to your program. We saw your race car improve dramatically, going down the racetrack, going A to B. The thing wasn't on fire. None of the things that we, that we need in a nitro funny car. So let's talk about it, man.
Good year, man. I can't complain. Had its ups, had its downs. As you know, team ownership is a hell of a stressful thing. But when you get the strap in the car, that all goes away, and it's the best feeling in the world. But, we did some good things. We learned, we improved, we made career best ETs. Car went 300 miles an hour. We didn't expect it to do that, but it did it, which was a pleasant surprise. So all in all, it's coming together. The changes we made, making it to where we're at right now, bringing Bob Peck in, changing our stuff over to DSM motor, rods, heads, all that stuff. Daryl Reed's rockers on there. Everything is just clicking and happy, and it's making a crap ton of power. It made it easier for me to drive. Driving a crappy race car, as you know.
Oh, yeah.
Rattling, shaking, it makes you absolutely crazy. But when the car's right, it's easy to drive and it's fun.
Yeah, no, it's true. You know, I've always said that a bad race car can make a great driver look real bad, and vice versa. Yeah, you can take a not so good driver, put him in a great race car, look like an all-star. So
absolutely, we see that too often.
We see it too often. So let's go back. Let's go back to the beginning of your racing career. And the first question I want to ask is what got you so interested in drag racing? Because you're first generation. You know, it's not like your dad or your uncle or your grandpa did it. So what got Chris King so interested in funny car racing?
So I grew up a gearhead, always liked tinkering with motors and motorcycles. I actually started racing motocross as a kid. Did that till I was like 18 years old. In the meantime, right when I was 16, got a car, always gearhead, street racing, stupid kid stuff.
Of course.
But I grew up in Racine, Wisconsin, which is right by Great Lakes Dragway. And Broadway Bob had these huge events, Labor Day Spectacular, 4th of July Spectacular. That's all you heard about. And you go out there and watch these guys run nitro cars, jet cars. It was the coolest thing in the world. And, wow, someday I'd like to do that.
Yeah.
But like you said, I'm first generation. My dad died when I was young. He was kind of a gearhead, so I inherited his genes.
That's cool.
And just kind of poked away at it. But what really got it going is my buddy Andy had an alcohol funny car. And I started crewing with him and running the D3 schedule and going to races. And he was pretty successful. And I learned about that side of NHRA, racing.
Sure.
I was a clutch guy, head guy, bottom end guy, did everything on the car and just learned about the cars. But I always wanted to drive. Never had the opportunity, never had the funding, but I always wanted to. And something clicked one time. I don't know what or why, but I'm like, that's it. I'm doing this. I'm going to Frank Hawley's.
Hey, you decided to go broke.
Yeah, I decided
to
take all my money and just wad it up and throw it away. But I went to Frank Hawley's, got my super comp license, and it was hooked.
Yeah, of course.
From there, I just wanted to go faster. So I'm like, well, what's the next step? I want to run an alcohol funny car. That's what I was working on. I know everybody. They're cool. They're fast. So Frank let me license in his car in the alcohol.
I remember that.
I raced 3, 4, 5 times. I didn't have any money. I couldn't even run an alcohol funny car, but I found guys that would let me do it pretty cheap, and then had a little bit of help from some sponsors. But that just set its hooks in me, and I just wanted to go faster, and always was obsessed with nitro.
Sure.
11,000 power, ground shaking horsepower.
Yeah, it's the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah, it is. So I'm like, what would it be like to drive one of those? And you're going to laugh about this one, buddy. When I finally got the opportunity to license in Paul Richards' car,
yeah,
I thought, I'm like, I got this. Jack Beckman talked to me and kind of tutored me a little bit and was like, you got this. You can drive an alcohol car. You can drive a nitro car. I remember sitting in that car and they fired it up on the starting line in Charlotte. So that's where I licensed. And I'm sitting in there looking down the track and this thing's thumping on nitro. And I'm like, what am I doing? Holy shit.
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect. What's this going to, I started psyching myself out. Didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
They drop the body. I do the burnout. I'm like, okay, So far, so good. Back it up. Then he pulled me up to the stage beams, and I'm staring there, and Paul Smith's on the radio. Okay, kid, just go down there and do what you gotta do. Blah, blah, blah. He's like talking. I just unplugged it. Yeah. I didn't want to hear it no more. Yep. Unplugged the microphone. I'm sitting there in the car, and I'm staging, and I'm still thinking like, holy, what am I doing? Yeah. What am I doing? Light comes down, turns green. I'm like, nope, not ready. Really? I sat there for a second. That's interesting. I wasn't ready. Yeah. My head was just going. I'm like, okay, deep breath. Got this. Boom! Down the track I went. 420. Yeah, that's great. I'm like, that's it. I'm hooked. So what was your light? Like 5 seconds? Probably like 20-second light. 2 minute 30 seconds. World record longest light. Chris King, y'all. World record longest nitro funny car light. It was world record. Chris setting world records here. On fire. Yep. Yeah. You got to get in the record book somehow. That's right. But that was it, buddy. I hit the gas on a nitro car, and it changed my life forever. It's all I wanted to do. It does that to you. Well, and it's like this. I've said this 100 times, and I'll probably say it another 100 times, or whatever you want to say. I don't know that there's anything cooler than a nitro funny car, right? What's cooler than that? I mean, there's a lot of cool things in the planet, right? There's a lot of cool cars, and I have a love for other things that have wheels on them, but there's really nothing cooler than a nitro funny car. Nothing. The short wheelbase. I mean, you drove a dragster. Yeah. Dragsters are cool, but it's not like a funny car. No, it's not. It's completely different. Yeah. You got the body, you've got the vision issues, the power, things. Everything about that funny car, it's just badass. Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is. They look cool, they run cool, they sound cool. That's right. They're cool to talk about. That's right. And I guarantee you. And we talk funny cars on this show, if you guys didn't know that. We talk funny cars here on Talkin Funny Cars with Buddy Hull. By the way, we're at PRI 2024, if you're just tuning in, and we're at the Racing Jump with Chris King. So, Chris, let's talk a little bit about the people that are helping you right now. Who's the ones helping you out? Who's helped you in the past? And what's the future look like? I've been really lucky to have some really loyal friends and sponsors that make this possible for me. Howard's Cams and Competition Products has been with me from the beginning, even in the alcohol car. And those guys are solid. They help you out with parts and support, which I couldn't do it without them. NGK came on board with spark plugs, and we use 16 plugs per run. Right. So over a week in the nitro racing, that's a lot of spark plugs, and it gets expensive. So NGK's been huge. Impact Racing with my safety equipment from day one. Yeah, they're great over there. Day one. Yeah, they're the best. Taking care of me and been good stuff. And Reed Rocker Arms from day one. Yeah, had them on an alcohol car. And Daryl developed the nitro rocker stands that we're running on the top fuel funny car right now. Yep. And they are phenomenal. So I've been really lucky. We brought Fire Department Coffee on last year, on fire-owned, veteran-owned company, and it's great because small people like that with big hearts are what make it possible for me. Obviously, we don't have the budget of the big teams, but we have enough support and enough motivation to make it work on the little budget we have. Of course. And we've made great strides. And like you said earlier, the car's running better than it ever has before, and that's because people, even in the racing community, I mean, guys like you, guys like Alex Conaway, Guido, all those people with big hearts and that love the sport make it possible for the little guy to do what we do. It's 100% true. Sometimes I don't think the spectators and NHRA fans know what type of, it's almost like a fraternity out there. Even though we're competing against each other, we're really helping each other out. We're sharing information. We're helping each other with parts. And that's just what it is, and that's what keeps us going. So, I don't know that there's anything else I'd rather do. How about you? No, this is it's addicting. And what's cool about it is like my two worlds, fire department and racing. It's very like you said, it's like a fraternity, a brotherhood. You go there, those guys got your back. They're like your second family. That's right. And that's what's cool about racing. And I'm going to rewind this back a little bit and talk about it because me and Buddy go back pretty far. I mean, it's got to be like 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is. Like, Buddy was in the same spot I'm in. Team owner, aspiring driver, busting his ass trying to make things work out. And then here comes Chris King. And one of the first people that came to Chris King was Buddy Hull. He's like, hey, man, I'm here for you. I know what you're going through. Come on over. Let's talk. What do you need? What do you need? That's all you kept saying. What do you need? I'm like, I don't know what I need. Yep. And you taught me. Talk to this people. Don't talk to this
pointing you the right direction.
Yeah. Definitely a lot of advice. But it's guys like you that love the sport, that want to make the sport succeed,
Yeah.
that help guys like me coming in. And now, people come to me, hey, Chris, you're doing it. What advice do you have? Like, well,
That's right.
I learned from guys like Buddy. I learned
Just
from
keep
guys
passing it down.
like Beckman. All these guys, they're there to make the sport grow because they love the sport. And I'm fortunate to be having guys like that in my corner, because
Right.
I couldn't have done it without you.
Yeah,
or
no one
any
can
of
do
them.
without each other, right? Like I said, we're all one big fraternity out here in any trade drag racing,
And we're
and
all
that's
that-
one of the things that makes it so cool.
Yeah. It's just one step away from your big break.
Yeah,
Did
it's
you
true.
think 3 years ago when you were driving your dragster that you'd be wheeling the Jim Dunn Funny
No,
Car?
but I love it.
It's
I love
awesome
Jim,
opportunity.
Jim,
It's-
Diane, John, Jonna, they're family to me. So
It's
that that's a blessing as well. So, all right, Chris. So here's the deal. You mentioned. Well, first of all, your crew shirt, it looks like a fireman's coat, which I think is really cool. And, I always want the fans out there to really know who the drivers are. That's the purpose of Talkin Funny Cars. So, Chris, we all know you're a firefighter, but what I want to ask you is, what is the ugliest situation you've ever been in fighting a fire? And what was it? Let's talk about it.
So, I'm second generation fireman. My dad was a fireman.
There you go.
So
you guys are learning about Chris King.
That's what got me.
He likes
hooked.
fire.
I
It's
do.
weird.
I like fire. I don't like being on fire, but I like being a fireman.
You like header flames?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Everybody does. So I grew up in the firehouse visiting my dad.
Yep.
And as a kid, I knew that was my career path. I knew it. So
great.
became a fireman, and I'm on my 29th year.
Yeah.
Wow, I just made myself feel old. 29 years of professional firefighting, and I've seen anything and everything you can imagine.
Sure.
And there's so much of it, you just become numb to it. And it actually, it's weird to say, but there's so many different things that I could talk about that are great, and there's so many things that are bad. I mean, there's been situations where I've almost lost my life.
Yeah.
Split second, one way or the other,
It's
and
tough.
I wouldn't be here talking to you.
Yeah.
And I've fallen through floors, fallen through roofs, and done things. But there's the other side where you've made rescues and made dramatic impacts in other people's lives, which is very satisfying. But it's hard to say the gnarliest call, because what's gnarly to me is something I probably shouldn't even talk about on the microphone.
Of course. Yeah, understood.
But if you can imagine it, multiply it by 10, and
Just a blazing inferno.
we've seen it and done it. Well, it's not even that. We respond to people's worst day.
That's right. That's
You know,
fair.
even-
It's not
even
only
if-
a fire sometimes,
It's
is
not.
it?
It's not only
Yeah,
fires.
and that's something that some people don't know. That firefighters don't always go to fires.
Yeah, so
right.
I'm on a technical rescue unit. It's called a heavy rescue.
Sure.
So we do everything from going to fires, to car accidents, to rope rescues in the high rises, window washers, stuck elevators.
Yeah.
We do dive rescue. So we're scuba diving and saving people that are drowning and things like that. And, we have the L trains, subways.
Of course.
People get hit by trains, so you have to go recover or save and do things. We see things that you wouldn't even imagine,
Right.
the weirdest movie scenario. So everyone's like, Chicago Fire, how real is that? We love that TV show. I'm like, oh boy.
Dramatized.
It's kind of cool, but it's Hollywood spin on it.
Of course.
But
It's got to be entertaining, right? If it was real, it wouldn't be that entertaining.
yeah, I mean, they do base everything off of stuff we've done.
Yeah.
With a Hollywood twist.
Yeah.
So
By the way, Chris has been on the TV show, so don't try to for a minute think that Chris King is not world famous. George Clooney calls him in for acting advice. All right.
Not quite. I was a stand-in background actor on Chicago Fire
He's
for 4
being so
seasons.
humble.
And there's camera time. Met all those guys. They're all great. They're cool.
Yep.
But I didn't get my break, unfortunately. So George Clooney, you don't have to worry. I'm not coming for your Grammy.
Yeah.
Yet.
Not yet. So, Chris King, man, firefighter, nitro funny car driver, but you're also a husband and father.
Yeah.
How about that, huh?
Yeah, it's interesting.
We talk about being a dad sometimes.
Yeah, you're a business owner just like me. You work your tail off. You got a family. You're a
I work
race
8
car
days a
driver.
week.
I work 15 days a week. I don't
He's
even know
50,
how
he beat me.
how we
I'm
do it.
8 days a week. He's 15 days.
I'm going to
It's
one up.
incredible.
But my schedule at the firehouse, 24 hours on, gone for a day.
Yep.
And I get 2 days off.
Yeah.
I work just as hard, if not harder, in those 2 days off,
Yeah.
running a side business and running a race operation.
Yep.
And then,
On the
it just
phone
never
all the time,
stops.
right?
You're always on the road,
Yep.
so it's time away from your family. and you have a new baby, so it's even worse. So Maddie's at home with the baby. My kids are grown, so it's pretty easy because they can take care of themselves now.
Yep.
But when they were young and I was on the road alcohol funny car racing, it was hard because I missed out on some things that I don't want to say. I actually do. I regret some of it because I missed some of the ball games, some of the events that they did when they were young, and it goes by so damn fast.
It does, doesn't it?
Like they're both in college now, so. It's tough blending your life as a race car driver, a firefighter, business owner. It's a lot going on. It's stressful, but guys like you and me are wired different.
You got to be.
That's how we.
If you don't want to work 7 days a week, that's
how you thrive.
That's it. Exactly.
I can't sit around in an office doing nothing, or I just can't go home and put my feet up and say, what am I going to do today? Nothing? No, it's not happening. I got to be busy. I got to be doing things and be productive. Otherwise, I feel like I'm failing myself.
That's right.
And I wouldn't be here racing funny cars, talking to Buddy Hull on Talkin Funny Car at PRI in the racing junk booth without being motivated.
That's right.
You know what I mean? You gotta have a desire and a push to do this stuff.
Yeah, you do. It's a passion, right? As a matter of fact, I was just telling somebody the other day, if you don't have something you're passionate about in life, then what is purpose? Right? You got to find it. You got to find that purpose. Otherwise, you just kind of end up muttering through life and you're not enjoying yourself. And so that's not good. So, okay, Chris King, tell the world something about you that no one knows, including me. Everybody wants to know. Look, you got a whole crowd. If you're watching right now, I want to let you know this is a sold-out event for this Talkin Funny Cars with Buddy Hull. We can't pan this camera because it's not
so many
capable.
People.
But listen, there are people standing on people's shoulders on the other side of the camera. We have people walking around selling popcorn, hot dogs, all this stuff just because they came to PRI 2024 to watch the filming of Talkin Funny Cars with Buddy Hull. So bear with us here. There's a bit of a distraction.
It's very distracting.
What was my question? See, I don't even remember now.
Something about me that you don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, something about Chris.
Actually,
tattoos.
I do have a tattoo.
Tattoos, see? Tattoos. There you go.
Got one right here.
Oh, there you go. See?
Firefighter
There you go.
related.
So no one knows that. No one sees that on TV. They don't know he's got a firefighter tattoo. What else?
This came out last week on Instagram.
Yeah.
Thanks to Natalie Torrance. I got a mean George Strait impersonation.
Let's hear it.
They did.
Come on.
I did the song Fireman.
No way. No, I saw that
That's a great
post.
song.
I thought you were kidding.
No,
That's real.
I'll karaoke the shit out
Let's
of
go.
country music.
Just a little. Let's go 8 to 10 words.
Bars.
Yeah,
So
come
now
on.
You put me on a spot in front of millions of people.
There's not millions. There's a couple 100,000 behind us, but
All right, well, I saw millions. So you didn't see those
I missed
guys on
them.
the left.
Yeah.
So I like country music. I like to sing. I played in a band, actually. All right.
Played the band.
Let's rewind this.
Look, Chris King's. He's also a music artist.
There's a lot. There's a lot to Chris King.
Yeah, I see that.
General contractor like you, but everybody will get a kick out of this. When I was in high school, I had hair down my mid-back, long hair.
You mean your back was hairy?
It still is, but no, I had
No, he's talking about hair in his head.
locks.
He's got to be more specific.
Beautiful
Otherwise, all you
flowing
fans will
golden
think
locks.
Chris King's got a hairy back.
I can show you. That's a lie. Stop making lies, Buddy Hull. No, I had long hair in high school while I was racing motocross, and it's pretty embarrassing when you see the pictures, but I thought I was cool.
Yep.
Totally wasn't. But no, I was in bands. I play drums. I play hockey. I'm a goalie.
It's cool.
So there's kind of a common denominator there. You talk to people in the hockey world, they say goalies ain't right in the head.
Yeah.
It takes a special kind of guy
Yeah,
to
they
be
want
a
to take a
goalie.
puck running 100 mile an hour.
What the hell?
Yeah.
But it takes a special kind of guy to run into a burning building.
Yeah,
And it
that's
takes
true.
an even more special kind of guy to strap his ass to an 11,000-pound rocket.
Yeah, it does.
Something's wrong with there.
Yeah.
But
Well-
you know what? It's good for me. I like it.
Life's good. All right, so we're gonna end this Talkin Funny Cars with the canned questions. So, Chris, what is your favorite funny car of all time?
My favorite funny car
Besides
of
your
all
own,
time.
you can't say I love my own funny car. It's got to be somebody
My
else.
car's pretty cool, but this is going to sound cliche. My idol and my favorite funny car of all time, for obvious reasons, the Fireman's Quickie. Your boss.
Okay,
Big
yeah, Jim Dunn.
Big
Okay,
Jim.
cool.
So let's
I'll
talk
make
about
sure he
Big
knows.
Jim. The original Fireman funny car driver.
Yeah.
Jim did, I think, 32 or 34 years with LA County Fire.
Yep.
Diane, I love talking to Jim and Diane because they get it.
Yeah.
Diane is a firefighter racer's wife.
Yes, she also worked full-time as well.
She's badass.
Yes, she is.
And having conversations with her because she knows what it's like to be involved with the firemen. So we'll tell stories and talk shop about fire department stuff. And you get Jim in the trailer. John gets pissed off when I come over because Jim stops what he's doing and he'll break out his photo album and start talking and telling stories. You know, Chris, back in '64, I went to work with this guy, and he starts telling his story.
Yeah, firefighter stories.
He lights up like a kid at Christmas.
He loves it, yeah.
And we'll just talk about this, and I'm like, wow, it'd been so cool to be a fireman back in that day. Like, everybody saw the TV show Emergency, Johnny and Roy, you know?
Yeah.
Well, Jim Dunn was a fireman in those days and experienced all that real. So it's like, anything you see from that was Jim Dunn firefighting. LA County.
So he answered my next question, which is who's your favorite driver? Now I know who his favorite funny car was and favorite driver, all in one. So next question, what's your favorite track to race on?
My favorite track to race at? There's some really cool tracks in our series. Yeah. I've always been a big fan of Norwalk. Bader, the facility, first of all, is nice. Guys like me don't get prime parking spots. At certain tracks, I'm usually in the grass or the dirt or a shit spot with more potholes than the
Some place where they lit a fire the day before?
They did. That's why they put the firemen there. But the facilities, so it's all asphalt. It's nice. It's got a great crowd. It's not too much of a drive for me coming from Chicago. So I've always liked Norwalk, but I never experienced things out. I mean, going to Dallas last year was pretty badass. That was a great week for the Stampede of Speed.
Yep.
When I went to Denver, I'd never been there before. And just beautiful, great facility. But now that's
like
gone.
being on vacation at the
racetrack. It is. But, you know, party-wise, we can't beat Brainerd.
Yeah, I agree.
The zoo,
that's
pretty phenomenal. Wild. So it's really hard to say what's your favorite track. They're all badass.
Yep.
And I get to go fast on every one of them, or at least attempt to.
Man, but have you been to Sonoma yet?
I have not.
Yeah, that's probably going to be your favorite track.
I look forward to it, but for me, it's hard to get out to those kind of tracks just because logistically it's expensive.
Yeah, it's a long ways. Yeah, a lot of fuel.
I got to drive the truck.
Yeah.
I got to plan everything. Then I got to set the pit up. So I'm losing
days.
Going to Dallas, I lost literally a week and a half because of that race. I left on Monday to go to Indy to get everything ready to go. Left Indy Tuesday, drove to Dallas, got there Wednesday night, set the pit up. The guys come in Thursday, start setting the car up, race Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I leave Sunday night, drive for a couple hours until I pass out, and then Monday, Tuesday, get home. And it's already Wednesday the following week. I'm like, okay, now back at the firehouse. That's another 24 hours gone from home.
I know the feeling.
It's insane, but I'm not complaining one bit because I'm living my dream, hanging out with the coolest people in the world in the AHRA. The fans are fan-tastic.
Yep.
I mean, I don't run the best. I'm starting to run better, but the support and the encouragement you get from the fans,
that's the best.
There's nothing like it. Standing on the rope, signing autographs, talking to people, high-fiving, hearing standing ovations, and he just blew up.
Yeah.
It's cool. It makes you motivated to come back out and do better.
Of course. All right, and we're going to end with, we're going to give Chris 15 seconds to describe what it's like to drive a nitro funny car. That's all he's got, 15 seconds. Ready, set, go.
Complete, total, on the verge of out of control, chaos, and insanity. So basically, think about being in a blender and going, ah! That's it.
That's it.
And then you get out and go, oh, that was cool. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Let's do it again.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the world famous Chris King right here, live on Talkin Funny Cars, PRI 2024 in the Racing Junk booth. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode of Talkin Funny Cars.
Thanks, buddy.